Hello students, in this video we'll be discussing the standard 9 computer application question paper. Now we start with section A. In section A the first question is Java program uses compiler as well as interpreter. Explain. So now as you know that normally all the languages either they use a compiler or an interpreter, but in Java we use both. Why? Because Java compiler compiles the source code into an intermediate language known as bytecode, which making it machine independent. And after that, the Java virtual machine interprets the bytecode to native machine code to the platform on which it's working. So for this reason, you need to know these 2 points are very important that you write over here, that the compilation is run from the source code to the bytecode and the interpretation is done from the bytecode to the machine code. So these are very important you need to write, because these terms, based on this, it shows that you are clear with the concept that Java compiler compiles the source code into an intermediate language code known as the bytecode, and after that the interpretation is done from the bytecode to the machine code. So you don't have to elaborate your answers, but these 2 points are very much important for you to know. After that, we go for the second question. What are Java reserved words? Now, as you must have learned in tokens, that the keywords are called as Java reserved words. There are 51 keywords and they have got predefined meaning in the Java language. So it cannot be used as any of your identifiers like class name, method name, or variable name. And so this is the definition of Java reserved words, and you can give few examples like int, for, switch, break, double. So these are few examples. So 1 mark for the definition of the reserved words. Important is it's a keyword and it has special meaning in the Java language. So programmers cannot use it for naming of any identifiers. And then the second is you have to give examples for it. Now we come to the third question. Predict the return type, data type of the following: int p, float q. R equals to P plus Q. So as you know here, implicit typecasting is being done. That is, from the lower data type integer, it is being converted to higher data type float. So the return type will be float, because over here implicit conversion has been done. Over here now float m, p equals to m by 3 into mat dot power 4 comma 3. Now you need to remember the mat function mat dot power returns the value in double format. So when float will be multiplied, again we have implicit conversion type conversion is being done over here. For that reason, over here it will convert to double data type. So the first question float, second is double. If you write clearly, we don't need the answer, because over here you need to only say the return type. So you get 2 marks over here. Next, you have a question having your pre-decrement and post-increment. So A's value is 0, B is 10, C equals to 40. So what will be A equals to pre-decrement minus B plus C plus post-increment plus B. So minus B, it reduces from 10 to 9. After that, C plus, no value will be changed, because the logic of post increment is first use then change. So first we'll use 40, then we'll change to 41, but it's not used anywhere over here now. But in case of pre-increment minus b, it is first change then use. So b's value was reduced from 10 to 9. So now when we write plus b, the value is now in 9. So 9 plus 40 plus 9 will give me the answer 58. Now the fifth question is, you have to convert an if program into ternary operator. As you know, the syntax is variable common variable tax initialized equals to within bracket, that is the test expression will be put within bracket, that is income less than equals to 10,000. After that I use the punctuator question mark. If true, after punctuator question mark 0 will be there, colon stands for else, 0.1 into income. So this is how you can convert a normal if statement to ternary operator. First is the common variable initialized, then the test expression within bracket, then the punctuator question mark, the true statement after the question mark, colon stands for else, following which the false statement can be written, ending with the semicolon. Now vice versa, we will rewrite the ternary operator into if else. So you can see d equals to p greater than 5000. This is my test expression. D equals to common variable. If true, then p into 5 by 100, else 2 into p by 100. So I'm doing if p greater than 5000, d equals to p into 5 by 100, else d equals to p 2 into p by 100. So this is my conversion from ternary to if else. Now we come to predict the output question. Here, as you know, the math functions CBRT and CEIL will give me double kind of values. So CBRT stands for cube root of 125 is 5.0, and CEIL function will give you the answer minus 0.0, converting to the, since it's minus, so if you write 0.0 also, it's okay. So what's a compound statement? Compound statement, that a group of statements put within the curly brackets is called as a compound statement, and you need to give an example. Here you can see for loop example. Example has been given. You can give any example, a group of statements, 2 or 3 statements you write within the bracket of if also, it's also okay. So 1 mark for compound statement definition, 1 mark for example. Next we can go to the 9th question. With the help of an example, the purpose of default in a switch statement. Now you have to first give the definition that switch case statements are used to execute only specific case statement. How many are there? That many case statements will be executed based on the switch expression. If switch expression doesn't match with the case, then it will be abruptly ending. But if you write default, then it will execute to say that okay, the program has invalid choice or whatever it will prompt. It will not end abruptly. And you can write any correct example. We'll be doing a program on switch case. There I'll explain the default part in more detail. Then we come to a last theory question, that is now you remember that the example of default is 1 mark, and the example that you give is of 1 mark, and the definition is of 1 mark. Here the last theory question, output based. What will be the value of x and y, assuming n to be 1 and 0? When n is 1, test expression is true. That is, n is greater than 0, so x equals to x plus 1. 1 plus 1 will give you 2. Same way, y equals to 1 plus 1 will give you 2. When x equals to 0, the condition is false. So the value of x and y will continue to be 1, 1. Do not write that it will not execute. Why it will not execute? In case of if, it will remain. It is only asking that what will be the value of x and y. So if n equals to 0, test expression is false. X and y remains unchanged. Now we go to a programming section. Programming question, first question we come across, we'll solve. I'll be doing it in the BlueJ environment directly. Now the first question is, write a program to input 3 angles of a triangle and check whether a triangle is possible or not. Now to check that a triangle is possible or not when it's the case of 3 angles, the logic is sum of the angles equals to 80 checking. So first question is, input 3 angles of a triangle. First, read the question carefully and go step by step. Input 3 angles of a triangle. You can see I prompt to the user, enter the 3 angles. Now, when I'm using scanner class to refresh your memory, first you need to import the java.util package. After that, within the class, you need to create objects of scanner class, and then you can accept values using the scanner class object. So enter 3 angles. I'm using nextInt method to accept values. I accept A1, A2, A3. In these 3 variables, I'm showing my angles. If the sum of A1, A2, A3 is equals to 80, then triangle is possible. I print it's a valid triangle. After that, the next checking is, if any of the angle is less than 90, then it's an acute angle triangle. I'm using AND because any one will be true. And over here, obtuse angle if it's greater than 90. Any one is greater than 90, then it will be obtuse. After that, if it's neither acute nor obtuse, then it will be a right angle triangle. You can also reverse to write if A1 equals to 90 or A2 equals to 90 or A3 equals to 90, then it's right angle triangle, else it's an obtuse angle triangle. You can make it up and down, it's okay. After that, this if ends. If this if is not true, that is the sum of the angle is not equal to 180, in that case it will just simply print it is not valid. So I'm using two if statement. One if to check whether triangle is possible or not. Within the possible if, I'm checking whether it's a multiple if statement. You can see I'm writing over here whether it's I'm checking for acute, obtuse and right angle triangle. So we come to the next question. Now students, you need to know that now since in standard 9, mainly we see about your how you input the values. That is why you need to start using scanner class over here. Wherever in the question, try using scanner class so that you keep this habit continued in standard 10. We come to our next question, that Mr. Agarwal invests certain amount at 5% per annum compound interest for 3 years. After that, write a Java program to calculate interest of first year, second year, and the amount of the third year. Now you know the logic of how to count for interest of first year, second year, and the amount. So over here, I accept the principal value only. Same thing, creating scanner objects, then accepting the value of the principal, and after that I know that the date is 5, and for one first year it is 1, time will remain as 1, P into R into T formula I'm using, printing the interest. After that, to P the interest will be added, so the new sum into 5 into time into rate, my 100 gives me the interest of the second year. Again adding the first and second year income interest to the principal, again into 5 into 1 by 100 gives me the interest of the third year. Now it has asked some amount after 3 years, so I add up all the interest with the principal and printed. So this is, you can see, as per the question, accepted the principal, calculate the interest of first and second year interest and the third year amount and printing it. Same way, for each question you need to write the variable description. Variable description needs three basic columns: name of the variable, data type, and the use. After that, we come to question number 3. Now, children, this is something very important that you need to remember, that in these exams, we are very much clear that you need to write the statements very clearly, that is using the semicolon, using the comma, the bracket, and the proper process, everything, because it completely computer is a logical subject, so the logic is very important. So you get marks deducted if you miss out on the semicolon or the proper syntax, like next int I should be capital, mat.sqrt should be small, system s should be capital. This you have to be very careful because Java is case sensitive. So we go to a third question. The third question is to count the to check, calculate and display the hypotenuse by accepting the base and perpendicular as input. So you can see in my program I'm accepting the perpendicular and base. Simple formula you write mat.sqrt p into p plus b into p. Now this question is not much big, it's small, but important is you accept the values properly. Then calculation you do it using the proper variables and the data type, and then printing. We come to our last question, that is to print the equivalent resistance of series and parallel connection of two resistance are given by the formula given. We need to use a switch case statement. So we'll go for the fourth question. Now as you can see in the fourth question, I am asked to prompt to the user first. Whenever it's a switch case question, user defined question, in that case you need to prompt to the user for the choice. So first, as per the question, it says that I need to accept the value of R1 and R2, that is the resistance of first and second resistor. After that, I prompted the user that if your registers are connected in series, enter 1, else if your registers are connected in parallel, enter 2. So this prompting will be there to the user. After that, the user enters his choice, switch. The value will be switched. There are two cases over here. Case 1, as per that formula, for series it is R1 plus R2. And case 2, now since Java is case sensitive, I'm writing capital R1 and small r1, they treated as two different variables. Break statement, as you know, to avoid fall through, I'm using break in the case so that all the cases are not executed. Same way, second case, R1 into R2 by R1 plus R2 as per the formula. Break is also being used for parallel series. Default. Now this question we have left earlier. If I don't write default over here, in case the user enters 5 as the case, there's nothing matching 5 over here. So it will show me no, it will be an abrupt and the program will just stop like that. But if default is there, you will see it will show, sorry, invalid input. So let's compile it. You can see over here, it is prompting to me that enter the resistance of first register. Suppose I enter 4, then I enter the value to be 6. Then it's asking that whether your register connected in series 1 or 2. So I enter suppose say 2, gives me the answer that equivalent resistance of 4.0 and 6.0 connected in parallel is 2.4. So let's try for none. Suppose like in the default. Taking an example, suppose I enter the resistance first to be 6, 8, and then I give for the choice I enter 7. It will show me sorry invalid input. If I don't give default in that case, the program will just halt like that, creating an abrupt ending. So you need to remember that in switch case default is important so that there is no abrupt ending of the program. It gives a valid end that it's an invalid input. So switch case, again to recapitulate, accept the values from the user of resistance of first register, second register. After that, from the user the choices, accept the choice from the user based on the choice, switch it, either case 1 will be implemented or case 2. Use break after the end of the case, whatever all the logic in the case is over. So to avoid fall through, break is used. Fall through means all the cases will not be executed, only the matching case will be executed, and default is used so to avoid abrupt ending of the program if the user gives a wrong entry. So this is the end of your question paper. I hope you understand and your doubts are clear. Thank you, students.